Hi, I am Olympia LePoint, host of Answers Unleashed, seen on AnswersUnleashed.com. And if you have been following me online recently, you know that I started to teach an artificial intelligence class at Santa Monica College Emeritus. I am creating videos to help us understand artificial intelligence in a cleared way. Now, as you know, I am a former NASA rocket scientist and I am an award-winning science author. And I decided to teach artificial intelligence because, number one, it's really important that we understand this new emerging technology and not be scared of it. Number two, it's really important for us to understand how and why it is being used. And number three, I think it's really important that we stay safe. This particular video is going to highlight the 15 different artificial intelligence risks that exist with using this new artificial intelligence technology, specifically generative AI. Now we're going to look at these risks. This is from a news report article from Forbes Magazine. This article is helping us understand 15 different risks that are associated with this emerging technology so we can understand not only the ethical concerns, but the future concerns in which lawmakers as well as leaders are going to have to look at to make sure that the emerging technology is going to be safe. I hope you enjoy this presentation. I am Olympia LePoint, and afterwards, I'd love for you to share this video with others. Okay, here we go. All right. This is now the 15 biggest AI risks. I am your professor, Professor Olympia LePoint. This is for political science and technology class at Santa Monica College Emeritus. This particular presentation consists of the 15 biggest AI risks, and this is based on a news report. It was from the list from the 15 biggest risks of artificial intelligence from the Forbes article dated June 2nd, 2023. So I'm going to go through the 15 different concerns relatively quickly, and we're going to see how AI is a benefit and how it is a concern. So here's the first one: lack of transparency. A lot of people do not know the mathematics behind artificial intelligence and how someone has coded something in the artificial intelligence, and therefore they don't know what the artificial intelligence is basically spitting out of its program. The lack of transparency is the number one risk. And let me break this down. And again, this is from the Forbes article. Lack of transparency in AI systems, particularly in deep learning models that can be complex and difficult to interpret, is a pressing issue. This opaqueness obscures the decision-making processes and underlying logic of these technologies. When people can't comprehend how an AI system arrives at its conclusions, it can lead to distrust and resistance in adopting these technologies. For example, if something was placed into an AI system and one person gets a high credit score and the other one doesn't, but then they have the same type of spending patterns, you wonder how and why this particular result existed. So that is a huge concern, the transparency. And a lot of people do not understand the mathematics and science behind it. So that is a huge, huge concern. I am a mathematician and I use mathematics to launch the NASA space shuttle. So the mathematics that was used within launching rockets, specifically the statistics and probability, is the same mathematics that's used in artificial intelligence. Bias and discrimination is another risk. AI systems can inadvertently perpetuate or amplify societal biases due to biased training data or algorithmic design. To minimize discrimination and ensure fairness, it is critical to invest in the development of unbiased algorithms and diverse training data sets. There was somebody who was looking at a generative AI system, and it asked them to create an executive, what's an image of an executive? And it was a white male that was generated. Not once did any type of computer system generate a woman of color. or even a person of color. So in algorithmic designs, there are biases that are already set up, and we have to verify that those biases are not going to perpetuate basically racism. Privacy concerns. AI technologies often collect and analyze large amounts of personal data, raising issues related to data privacy and security. To mitigate privacy risks, we must advocate for strict data protection regulations and safe data handling practices. Now, a lot of you don't know that artificial intelligence will go on your computer systems and take out files from your personal texts on your cell phone, take out files from your PC or your Mac, or whatever you have, and then it will also go through business servers. So it will take sometimes trademarked data and use it in its computer model and not flag it as being owned by you. So it's something that you have to be really concerned about with privacy risk. And who holds the data to your personal emails? If your personal emails have been gone through generative AI, and those emails go into a system, do you own your own personal communications with your mom, or does it exist on a server that can be easily accessed by anybody? So that is the question. Ethical dilemmas is the next concern. Instilling moral and ethical values in AI systems, especially in decision-making contexts with significant consequences, presents a considerable challenge. Researchers and developers must prioritize the ethical implications of AI technologies to avoid negative societal impacts. Now, I am a research methods professor at California State University, Northridge. And that's one of the things that I teach, which is research methods and how to ethically use data and call it out and show how the results are made based on your assumptions. A lot of times, if the data is not collected in an ethical way, there can be false results. So it's something that you want to 100% understand, that you have to know where your data is coming from in order to present an accurate response. And if you use data that's from somewhere that is possibly trademarked that's in this large data model, you have to be concerned with, if your output creates something that is already owned, you are the one that's going to be sued, not the generative AI or not the AI software program. So you have to be really, really concerned if you use something and where that data comes from. Security risks is the next concern. As AI technologies become increasingly sophisticated, the security risks associated with their use and the potential for misuse also increase. Hackers and malicious actors can harness the power of AI to develop more advanced cyber attacks, bypass security measures, and exploit vulnerabilities in systems. The rise of AI-driven autonomous weaponry also raises concerns about the dangers of rogue states or non-state actors using this technology, especially when we consider the potential loss of human control in critical decision-making processes. To mitigate these security risks, governments and organizations need to develop best practices for secure AI development and deployment, and foster international cooperation to establish global norms and regulations that protect against AI security threats. Here is a huge security threat. If you consider your traffic light signals in every single city that's controlled by a computer system, that is a huge security risk if someone gets a hold of that computer program. Another security risk, the electrical grids that operate cities. If cyber attackers can get a hold of that, they can completely take out entire electricity grids. Another concern is, if we consider someone using artificial intelligence and programming them into robots and using them as weapons in war, that's a concern too. These are security risks that are not only for the United States, it's for every single country on the face of this planet. Concentration of power. The risk of AI development being dominated by a small number of large corporations and governments could exacerbate inequality and limit diversity in AI applications. Encouraging decentralized and collaborative AI development is key to avoiding a concentration of power. If we consider when we had different types of telephone companies before, do you remember Pac Bell? Do you remember AT&T? Do you remember Sprint? Do you remember T-Mobile? We had different types of phone companies. Now there's just a few, AT&T and T-Mobile, and this is a concern. The concern could also be there's just a few type of companies that use artificial intelligence, and then their rates skyrocketed. Only the privileged few could use it. So you want to be concerned about how artificial intelligence is being used and who's using it. Dependence on AI. Over-reliance on AI systems may lead to a loss of creativity, critical thinking skills, and human intuition. Striking a balance between AI-assisted decision-making and human input is vital to preserving our cognitive abilities. A lot of people don't know that our frontal brain lobes are responsible in decision-making. And when we are able to connect the left and right side of our brain, we use the connectivity of our nervous system to be able to generate new innovation. If we're expecting artificial intelligence to generate all innovation, that is going to be taking away the human mind's natural ability. And not only that, if you look at children's frontal brains do not develop until the age of 25. This is the executive decision-making part of their brain. If someone is relying on artificial intelligence at a very early age and they do not learn how to critically think on their own, when they get to the age of 25, they will not be conscious of the decision-making process to be a future leader of this country. So you have to be wary of how the artificial intelligence is being used and how that is affecting people's brains. Job displacement is another concern. AI-driven automation has the potential to lead to job losses across various industries, particularly for low-skilled workers. Although there is evidence that AI and other emerging technologies will create more jobs than it eliminates, as AI technologies continue to develop and become more efficient, the workforce must adapt and acquire new skills to remain relevant in the changing landscape. This is especially true for lower skilled workers in the current labor force. Again, this is from the Forbes article that I'm reading from. Now, it's really important that we understand that artificial intelligence does not always give you the correct output. If you think it does, I want you to know this fact. It's not always right. And if there's employers that fire large groups of people and have automated systems and think that the automated systems is always going to operate correctly 100% of the time, you're going to be in for great profit losses. Because someone and a group, not someone, but groups of people have to check to see if artificial intelligence is actually generating the correct response, because 9 times out of 10, there is going to be some sort of issue with the output, and it's up to the employer to make sure that what it's generating with artificial intelligence is actually accurate. Economic inequality. The concentration of AI development and ownership within a small number of large corporations and governments can exacerbate this inequality as they accumulate wealth and power while smaller businesses struggle to compete. Policies and initiatives that promote economic equity, like reskilling programs, social safety nets, and inclusive AI development that ensures a more balanced distribution of opportunities, can help combat economic inequality. So that's a huge concern, economic inequality with this. AI has the potential to contribute to economic inequality by disproportionately benefiting wealthy individuals and corporations. As we talked about above, job losses due to AI-driven automation are more likely to affect low-skilled workers, leading to a growing income gap and reduced opportunities for social mobility. So the question is, will only wealthy people have access to it? And we saw this across the entire world. Remember when certain vaccines came out in the pandemic and only wealthy countries had access to it at first? So that's the concern here. With this new technology, is it only wealthy countries going to have access to it, or is it going to be all countries? Who's going to have it? Even the people in the country, is it only going to be for certain people? That's the question. Legal and regulatory challenges is another concern. It's crucial to develop new legal frameworks and regulations to address the unique issues arising from AI technologies, including liability and intellectual property rights. Legal systems must evolve to keep pace with technological advancements and to protect the rights of everyone. A huge concern right now is the WGA and SAG strike. With the WGA, there's a concern that artificial intelligence is going to be used and going to be eliminating the writers' jobs. And then another concern is within the SAG, actors and actresses. Right now, they don't have rights. They could possibly have their face being used in a film and then it being reused and reused over again without any type of say, without any type of royalties. And so there's a huge strike happening because the actors and actresses don't want to have their face exploited, their voice exploited, they're being exploited. So you want to ensure that you have proper frameworks to ensure their intellectual property, their face, voice, their being is protected. So it's crucial that people understand that there's intellectual property being used. And another concern is artificial intelligence can take from people's pre-existing copywritten works, their books, their designs, and it can be embedded in someone else's work. Now, there's lawyers and as well as judges arguing that in making rulings that certain artificial intelligence generated work cannot be copywritten. So that's something that is currently right now being discussed in legal systems and intellectual property rights conferences across the world is this particular issue. 11 is arms race. In the letter, the leaders said, humanity can enjoy a flourishing future with AI. Having succeeded in creating powerful AI systems, we can now enjoy an AI summer in which we reap the rewards, engineer these systems for the clear benefit of all, and give society a chance to adapt. The risk of countries engaging in an AI arms race could lead to the rapid development of AI technologies with potentially harmful consequences. Recently, more than 1,000 technology researchers and leaders, including Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, have urged intelligence labs to pause the development of advanced AI systems. And the letter states that AI tools present profound risks to society and humanity. So the AI arms race is something that's huge. Right now that there's two really huge leaders within artificial intelligence. It's the United States and China, but we do see other countries coming up in this race. We see it with India, and we also see it in some other foreign countries like Iran. And we want to understand that this technology is going to be used in another technology. So if you think it ends with artificial intelligence, think again. Artificial intelligence is going to be embedded in quantum technology, and which is going to lead to some great things like hologram technology, hologram communications, 3D videos, but it's also going to unlock the door for more advanced ways for this technology to be used. So there is an AI race, which is how is this particular artificial intelligence going to be used, and will it be used with armies? There are right now risks before we get to this 12th one here. There are risks right now that people are saying, well, what if armies are created with artificial intelligence robots? Is that humane or inhumane? And so there's an argument, a deep argument regarding that. And war is just horrible. And no human ever should be, I feel no human should ever be in a war, because it's just, that's, a war always ends to human death. But at the same time, we have to be very careful if people will argue for robots to fight wars instead of humans, because that's leading on ethical concerns, and that's also leading for AI arms race on how this information is going to be used. Now, something that's really good to hear is that just like nuclear technology, there's a international talks about AI regulations. Just like nuclear technology has regulations so someone doesn't create a nuclear bomb and explode it on another country, the same talks are being made right now about developing a artificial intelligence international committee and regulation committee to ensure that AI is going to be used in an authentic and secure way. 12th concern is loss of human connection. Increasing reliance on AI-driven communication and interactions could lead to diminished empathy, social skills, and human connections. To preserve the essence of our social nature, we must strive to maintain a balance between technology and human interaction. I saw something that said that there's now AI-generated boyfriends and girlfriends where you interact with somebody who's not real. And the first thing I thought was, this was the first thing I thought. If people are addicted to video games, they're more than likely going to be addicted to artificial intelligence. And we have to consider that huge risk, because if we have humans interacting with artificial intelligence, they may lose the ability to be able to see what's real and what's not. So it's going to be imperative that we have some sort of AI identification that what you're interacting with is not real, not a human. 13 is misinformation and manipulation. AI-generated content such as deep fakes, which is fake videos, contributes to the spread of false information and the manipulation of public opinion. Efforts to detect and combat AI-generated misinformation are critical to preserving the integrity of information in the digital age. In a Stanford University study on the most pressing dangers of AI, researchers said AI systems are being used in the service of disinformation, basically lies, on the internet, giving them the potential to become a threat to democracy and a tool for fascism. From deepfake videos to online bots manipulating public discourse by fraying consensus and speaking fake news, there is the danger of AI systems undermining social trust. The technology can be opted by criminals, rogue states, ideological extremists, or simply special interest groups to manipulate people for economic gain or political advantage. There's a new political race that's going to be happening for the presidency. And I foresee this being a big issue. There's going to be people that's going to be trying to use deepfake videos, and deepfake photos, which is generating false images of people. And it's not just for political candidates, because this could be an issue. It could be for any type of political person. It could be for anybody who's a threat of being falsely blackmailed. It's a horrible type of fear, because there has to be some sort of system to identify when something fake has been generated and been posted. And if this type of misinformation and manipulation happens with the artificial intelligence, it would completely destroy the different types of authentic, real news sites, the authentic educational institutions. So we must be careful of criminals that use fake news to manipulate groups of people, especially to create fascism. And fascism is what arose in the different types of ways during World War II. So we want to make sure that that history doesn't repeat again. Unintended consequences. AI systems, due to their complexity and lack of human oversight, may exhibit unexpected behaviors or make decisions with unforeseen consequences. This unpredictability can result in outcomes that negatively impact individuals, businesses, or society as a whole. Robust testing, validation, and monitoring processes can help developers and researchers identify and fix these types of issues before they escalate. Like I was saying before, artificial intelligence isn't always reliable. It can give you false information, and it can cause what we call AI hallucinations, which is when it's so intent on proving a point, it makes up data and information to prove the point. And this was seen in Texas court systems when people will file court cases and law documents for the judge. They used some types of AI systems, but the problem was that the AI was generating fake and false past cases that never existed to prove a certain type of legal case that needed to be presented to the court. And so when the court looked at it, they said, this isn't even a real case that's being referenced here in this particular document. So I believe it was July of 2023, Texas courts started to ban certain types of use of artificial intelligence in generating certain types of court documents because it wasn't giving correct information. It wasn't robust in the information it was giving, and there was nobody testing it and making sure it was being monitored to give the right results within legal filings. The development of artificial general intelligence, AGI, that surpasses human intelligence raises long-term concerns for humanity. The prospect of AGI could lead to unintended and potentially catastrophic consequences, as these advanced AI systems may not be aligned with human values or priorities. To mitigate these risks, the AI research community needs to actively engage in safety research, collaborate on ethical guidelines, and promote transparency in AGI development. So you don't want to have a complete AGI system, which is an entirely thinking type of system that makes decisions on its own. You don't want to have it making decisions and having it make decisions that are completely not valid. So that's something to mitigate by making sure that there's ethical guidelines, transparency in the AGI development, and safety research established for artificial intelligence. Ensuring that AGI serves the best interests of humanity and does not pose a threat to our existence is paramount. The 15 is existential risks. The development of artificial general intelligence, AGI, that surpasses human intelligence raises long-term concerns for humanity. And so this existential risk is concerned about anything else that exists that we don't even know about. These risks are going to come up and we don't even know what they are. So it's imperative for us to start thinking right now about how artificial intelligence is used and what this looks like. So I hope you have enjoyed that. Again, I am Olympia LePoint, host of Answers Unleashed, seen on answersunleashed.com, and I am teaching the Artificial Intelligence, Political Science and Technology class at Santa Monica College Emeritus program. This was a list of the 15 biggest artificial intelligence risks. Now, again, this was quoted from the Forbes article, and I'm reporting on that Forbes article and sharing this for our class, and as well as sharing it for you online on my Answers Unleashed platform. I hope you have enjoyed this particular video. There are so many different concerns with artificial intelligence. The best way for us to contribute to this emerging technology is, number one, understand how artificial intelligence works, and two, understand what the risks are so we can mitigate them by planning for them in advance. And the way we do that is by identifying the risks upfront and finding ways to be able to create laws as well as checkpoints to ensure that the risks are mitigated and artificial intelligence can be safe. I am Olympia LePoint. I hope you have enjoyed this video. For more videos, tune in to AnswersUnleashed.com and enroll in Santa Monica College Emeritus Political Science and Technology class, where I teach an artificial intelligence class. I really love teaching that class too. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.